Poppin' T Squad, it's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I am here with this week's All Tea, All Shade Loving Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 29 review. So I told you guys that I wouldn't have these reviews up until I got back from vacation, but I ended up not going. I canceled at the last minute because I had a lot of work to do. So I am here with my Love and Marriage Huntsville review. So let's get into it. The episode starts with Tisha meeting Marsau at Black. They're having date night. And for like the first 5 minutes, everything is going smoothly despite her Beetlejuice hair. I don't really know what the fuck is going on. She's giving me very much Remy Ma 2005 when she was battling Lady Luck. I don't know what is going on with this hair. Like, Tisha, please just go back home. The hair is what ruined the night, not the argument. It was this god-awful hairstyle that ruined the night. She literally got sister curls in her head, this block of brown. What is going on? Do you got split personalities? I just cannot. So they sit down and they talk, and Marsau tells her that he invited Mel by so they could talk, and she was like, for what? And he was like, because I talked to my brother and we told her that we would leave an open line of communication when it comes to Mark, and if anything happens, we will let her know. And she was like, well, I don't appreciate the fact that you reached out to her without letting me know. And he was like, well, actually, I had my assistant reach out. She was like, well, regardless, you should have ran it by me first. She called me her enemy. I don't feel like you should be reaching out to her without letting me know. You shouldn't be talking to her. He was like, I thought we were good. Like, we just saw them on vacation. She was like, I'm cordial with her, but that don't mean like it's good. Like, no. So she's mad. And Marsau was like, so your point is that you're the jealous wife. And baby, that was a trigger for Miss Thang, honey. She was like, don't you ever fucking call me jealous. I ain't jealous of nobody. Don't do that, whatever. So Marsau was like, calm down. It ain't that deep. Like, y'all need to get over this. He was like, you're not over it. She's not over it. Like, you gonna have to figure this out. Like, if me and Martell can get it together, why can't y'all? And then he also mentions the fact that she met with Martell one-on-one without him, and he didn't have a problem, considering the fact that, he threatened him and everything else. And she was like, the two don't compare. And I somewhat disagree with Tisha on that, because it does compare. I feel like she, of course, probably told him when she was meeting up with Martell, which, she should have, and he should have let her know that he was meeting up with Melody. It's not something that he should be just like, oh yeah, I talked to Mel and she coming by. Like, nah, you do need to talk to me about that. You really honestly do. But for her to say that the two don't coincide, I don't agree with that. I feel like they do coincide. But Marsau was 100% wrong for not letting her know that he reached out to, Melody, considering where things are between them. But his argument was that, we just seen them, everything was good. So what's the problem? Like, cause I'm not understanding this. Tisha was like, she only wants to be in male space when they have to. And I was like, well, you didn't have to be in her space when y'all was out of town. You chose to. So, like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. But that jealous comment was what really got Tisha going. It was that jealous comment because it hit and it triggered her, because she knows that's what the world thinks about her. And I think that there is some truth in it, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have even gotten that mad. So they going back and forth. And Marsau gets so aggravated. He was like, I'm not listening to shit you got to say. Storms off. And she was like, that's so stupid, just so stupid. And he goes outside and he pacing back and forth. And I was like, damn, like, I ain't never seen him get that disrespectful with her. Like, he's been disrespectful, but for him to say, I ain't listening to shit you got to say, I was like, ooh, Lord. So I guess after he cooled down some, he decided to come back in and tells her that, if she lets him do this, that he got her back. He ain't gonna make her look stupid. And I'm like, you already just made her look stupid. Like, you stay embarrassing this girl. And so she was just like, all right, but I don't understand why you said that I was jealous. Like, where did that come from? And then she started crying because once again, she knows she about to get dogged around the world when this shit airs. And he tells her that, he's meeting with Mel because after they talked to Mark made it known that some things are going to become public knowledge very, very soon. So he wanted to give Mel the heads up so she wouldn't think that they had anything to do with it. She's still mad. Tisha's still mad. She was like, fuck date night. She going home to be with her kids. And they still kind of going back and forth as he's escorting her out. You so concerned about him being around Mel, talking to Mel. Why did you leave? Because I'm not leaving. Why did you leave? Like, and he happily escorted your ass out so he could have one-on-one time with his boo thing, with his crush. Like, you did all of that and you still left and allowed them to have one-on-one time with each other. Like, Tisha, please put 2 and 2 together, because, like, your brain just don't be functioning. Like, you should have been there. If you was that pressed, why did you leave? Why did you leave? Why? Like, that was stupid on your part. So stupid. Martell is planning his Inest Wine event that I told y'all was going to end up being like the season finale episode. I told y'all this months ago. So he meets up with his partner, Chris. I think that's that man's name. I think his name Chris. Ain't his name Chris? I don't know. Anywho, the little fine little old little motherfucker. They give me Carl Thomas vibes. Like, he could be Carl Thomas daddy. Summer rain, sweet rain. That's my shit. So they meet up to look at this venue, but the venue does not match what he's trying to do at all. So they talking about the Inest Wine and him and Melody's family trip and everything. And then Marsau's name comes up, and Chris says that he got wind that Marsau was telling Tisha that when he was in Atlanta, he was kicking it with him. But he was like, I only seen dude for maybe like 2 hours. Like, we split up after like 4:30. I don't know what that man was doing. So Tisha, once again, you got somebody telling you shit about your nigga and how he lied in your face. Chris ain't got a bone in this fight. So he lying too. Like, everybody lying on your nigga. Everybody lying on your nigga. Like, he flat out told you that he was down there with Chris. And we know that that's a lie. So once again, your nigga getting caught up in some bullshit and you gonna continue to make excuses for him. Like, this ain't Melody or Martell telling you this. This is an outsider that ain't got no skin in the game. So now what? Now what? Now you know your nigga was lying. Are you gonna confront him about that? Like, girl. Read the writings on the wall, please. Listen to Destiny's Child first album, Writing on the Wall, please. So then we switch to Melody arriving at Black. She greets Marsau with a real stiff hug. Like, she barely wanted to touch that nigga, So they sit across from each other, and she was like, I'm surprised that you wanted to meet up with me. And he was like, well, we had made an agreement that I would keep you in the know regarding things that are being said and done or whatever. And she was like, okay, well, what's going on? He was like, it's my brother Mark. And she was like, okay, like, what do he have to say about me? And he was like, no, it's more so about your mom. And she was like, I'm only here to talk about anything that got to do with me. They ain't got nothing to do with me. So what did he say about me? And so Marsau was caught off guard. Like, he was sitting there dumbfounded. And he was like, well, first of all, it should be thank you for holding up to your end of the bargain. And Mel just looking at him like, you had me coming all the way over here for this? And so in her confessional, she was like, if I would have known that this was a conversation, I wouldn't have shown up. Like, what? So my thing is, this whole conversation could have been said over the phone. It did not have to be him reaching out to her. I got to talk to you about something. And she like, okay, well, we can talk about it now. Knowing that you had a date night with your wife, you chose Melody over your wife once again. Tisha, girl, look at the optics of this. Y'all had date night. He reached out to Mel and said, hey, I need to talk to you about some stuff. She said, he was like, stop by anytime. She said, okay, I can stop by now. How about well, no, it's my well, he shouldn't even say stop by any time, because that led the door open for her to say, well, I can stop by now. So that was the first strike. But then he should have said, oh shit, my bad, today isn't a good day because I'm having date night with my wife. But instead, you invited her op to y'all place of business on your date night. Like, make it make sense. Then your wife got so mad that she left, so you end up spending your date night with the person that you really want to spend your date night with. And y'all be thinking that man don't like this woman. Okay, if that's what y'all think, all right. That man got a crush on Melody. If Melody ever gave Marsau the go, baby, Tisha who? Tisha huh? Tisha what? Yeah, exactly. Now, I was a little shocked that she said that she didn't want to discuss anything that had to do with her mama. It's like a double-edged sword with that situation. Like, my mama grown, that's her situation. I want to stay out of it. But at the same token, you bring up how you don't like the fact that they say stuff about your mama. So if somebody's coming at you with information about, hey, this is what is about to be said about your mama, I would think that you would want to be privy to that information to give your mom a heads up or whatever, because Mark did hold true to his words that he was going to put some shit out there and make it public knowledge. And so he had went on his Instagram live one night. This was about maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. And you all inboxed me about it and was like, you need to tell Miss Vanessa about this. And it was Instagram, not an Instagram live, a Facebook live that Mark did. It was like 22 people on the live, really wasn't that many people. And he showed a text, the DM thread between him and Miss Vanessa, where it was basically exposed that they did have some type of relationship with each other. And once again, she's never denied that they dealt with each other. She just said that they was never boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay. So when I interview Miss Vanessa, we will clear all of that up and you will get the tea straight out of her mouth. But I was very shocked by that. She didn't want to hear anything regarding this whole Mark and Miss Vanessa situation. Kimmi and Maurice decide to have a dinner party with the original six. I see that they keep on going back to this original six thing, and Destiny and them are not invited. So Tisha and Marsau arrive first, and they sitting down, they shooting the shit, and Tisha tells them about how Marsau invited Mel to Black without telling her and asks their opinion. And Kimmi was like, well, I would have liked the heads up. Like, yeah, I agree with Tisha on this. So in her confessional, Tisha asks Marsau, if you knew we were all going to be meeting up for dinner, why didn't you just tell her the information right then and there in front of everybody? And he was like, you know what? I didn't think of that. You know what? You're right. Nigga, you knew exactly what you were doing. And Tisha, girl, I just want to punch her in her forehead. Like, it's girl. Somebody needs to short Keisha her ass. Because, like, do you need to get kicked in your forehead for you to see what the fuck is happening in front of you? Like, girl, all the signs are there, ma'am. Oh my word, but you would swear somebody lying on this nigga. So Martell arrives, and he's dressed once again like he in a Baby Gap commercial, child. I just don't know what this nigga. He was like, damn, am I underdressed? Nigga, that's how you always look. Sit down. So they sit down at the dinner table. Mel has yet to arrive, and Tisha was like, Martell, I heard you got the YouTubers jumping. And Kimmi was like, yeah, you been kicking it with Sheree? So this was around the time the whole tea came out about them, that came out a few months ago. And that goes to show that they be watching these videos, child. They be watching it. They know exactly what's being said and what's going on. So he was like, yeah, we kicking it, we friends or whatever. So they asking him all these questions, and he is tight-lipped. He do not want to talk about it. And Kimmi peep game that the reason why he don't want to talk about it, because who's on her way? Mel is on her way. So Mel arrives in this white dress or whatever, and Martell in his confessional was like, yeah, she showed up in white. She wore a white dress, and it's because it was our 15th, it would have been our 15th year anniversary or whatever. So he feels like she wore that white dress as like symbolism of what the day was or whatever. And I was like, I hope not, because that dress was god awful. That dress was god awful. It was ugly. It looked like a doily. I did not like nothing about that outfit. And normally Mel be killing it, but that outfit was just not the one. I need for her to burn that dress. Do y'all think that Melody wore a white dress as some type of symbolism of what the day was? I mean, there's no way she didn't know what the day was. You know what I'm saying? It was obvious that it was their anniversary. She wasn't going to acknowledge it, but do you think that she wore that white dress on purpose? I could see a part of me feel like she probably did, a part of me feel like she probably didn't. Who knows, or whatever. So she thanks them for, waiting on her. They sit down, and Martell invites them to his Inest Wine event, and he invites Mel, and they were like, Mel, you gonna come? She was like, I gotta check my schedule. And they kept on pressing her. She was like, I have to check my schedule, but thanks for the invite. But I already told y'all she wasn't coming. I told y'all that she and Miss Vanessa were not going to be there at the event. So Mel in her confessional was like, yeah, our trip went well, but there's been so much stuff happening since then. He released my medical information to his baby mama, and she was like, he didn't have to put her name in there to let her know what was going on. You could have just said that, yeah, the kids was around somebody that had COVID. He didn't have to let Ariane know that it was her that in fact had COVID, then gave it to the kids, and then the kids then gave it to Knox. Remember when that whole thing was going on back in the summertime with Knox getting sick and Ariane blaming the other kids and Mel for her baby getting sick. I don't feel like that was a big deal. I feel like you reaching with that one. I feel like you wanted a reason to get mad. I feel like that was a reach. They baby got sick. She wanted to know who the baby got COVID from. All he said was probably he got COVID from the kids. Kids got it from Mel or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, unless he was around the kids before they got symptoms, why did you have them around? Why did you have your son around sick children? Unless the little boy was around them before they started actually having symptoms of COVID, then that's Martell's fault. But I don't think that it was such a big deal that he told Ariane that she had COVID. Like, I don't think that was a big deal. I honestly don't. So Mel asked Kimmi, like, what's been up with you? Like, I ain't seen you in a minute. Like, what's going on? And that's when Kimmi lets them know that she has breast cancer. And they are stunned. They are shocked. Mel got tears in her eyes. She was trying to hold her tears back. Martell is just dumbfounded by it all. And, they just promised to be there for Kimmi. They even are able to laugh about the old days at the end of the episode. And then it goes off. This episode to me was more of like a filler episode with important things that needed to be said and done. But a lot of this could have been pulled in other episodes, honestly. They didn't even say that next week's episode is the season finale. I hope it is, because if not, then that means we got another episode to go before we get to the reunion, and that means that the reunion will be a 2-part reunion and not a 3-part reunion. I am just over this shit. I am over this season. Oh my God, this season has been going on for fucking ever. Overall, though, I'm gonna give tonight's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville a C+. I would have gave it an F if I had to judge it upon Tisha's hairdo, but God bless me. So if you guys have not checked out my house hunting in STL video, I am searching for my dream home. I'm taking you guys on this journey with me. The first vlog video is up right now on my channel. Make sure you check it out in preparation for vlog number 2. Make sure you guys thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.